First contact's price. The quantum detection array at Europa Station picked up the anomaly at 14:32 Earth Standard Time. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readings, her coffee growing cold beside her terminal. The signal pattern was unlike anything she'd seen in 15 years of deep space monitoring. "Hey Marcus, take a look at this," she called to her colleague. "The quantum field distortions are off the charts, but there's no gravitational signature." Dr. Marcus Rivera wheeled his chair over, his dark eyes narrowing as he studied the data. "That's impossible. You can't have quantum displacement without mass." He tapped through several screens of calculations. Unless someone's figured out how to manipulate quantum fields directly. Sarah finished. "I'm calling Director Hayes." Within an hour, Europa Station's observation deck was packed with the station's senior staff. Through the reinforced windows, Jupiter's massive form dominated the view, its swirling storms a constant reminder of nature's raw power. But everyone's attention was fixed on the holographic display showing the approaching anomaly. Director Elaine Hayes, a veteran of 3 Mars campaigns, stood with her hands clasped behind her back. "How long until it reaches detection range?" "At current velocity, 6 hours, Marcus reported. "Whatever it is, it's big. About 3 kilometers in length based on the field distortion. And definitely artificial," Sarah added. "The quantum patterns show clear signs of technological manipulation. This is first contact, Director." Hayes nodded slowly. "Alert Sol Command. Initiate first contact protocol Alpha. And someone wake up Dr. Patel. We're going to need our best xenolinguist." As the staff scrambled to their stations, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The quantum signature had a crystalline structure to it, almost like. The station's proximity alarms screamed to life. "Multiple quantum events," Marcus shouted. "They're everywhere." The holographic display erupted with dozens of new signatures, materializing around Europa Station in a perfect sphere. Through the observation windows, Sarah watched in horror as space itself seemed to crystallize, geometric shapes of pure energy forming out of nothing. "By all the gods," Dr. Patel whispered, having arrived just in time to witness the event. "They're beautiful." The crystalline ships, if they could be called ships, pulsed with internal light, faceted surfaces reflecting Jupiter's glow in hypnotic patterns. But their beauty masked something terrible. Sarah felt it in her bones, a deep wrongness that made her head ache. Director Hayes was already issuing orders. "Defensive systems online. Get me a channel to Earth. Now." "Director," Sarah called out, her voice shaking. "The quantum readings, they're not just distorting space, they're distorting consciousness itself." As if in response to her words, every human on the observation deck suddenly grabbed their heads in pain. Sarah felt it too, a crystalline presence trying to interface directly with her thoughts, cold and alien and hungry. "They're scanning us," Dr. Patel gasped. "Not our technology. Us. Our minds." The crystalline ships pulsed brighter, and Sarah felt something push against her consciousness, trying to categorize and catalog her thoughts. But something unexpected happened. Where the alien presence touched her mind, it recoiled, as if burned. "They're pulling back," Marcus announced, fighting through his own pain to read the sensors. "The quantum field is destabilizing." The crystalline ships rippled, their perfect geometric forms wavering for a moment. Then, as suddenly as they had appeared, they vanished, leaving only lingering quantum echoes and pounding headaches. Director Hayes was the first to recover. "Get me Sol Command. Priority 1. She turned to Sarah. "Dr. Chen, I need answers. What just happened?" Sarah was already diving into the sensor data, her fingers flying across multiple screens. "They were trying to interface with our consciousness, but something about human neural patterns rejected the connection. It's like we're incompatible with their technology. Or immune to it," Marcus added, pulling up his own analysis. "The quantum fields they generated were perfect, too perfect. crystalline structures that should have been able to contain and control any form of energy or consciousness they encountered. But human consciousness isn't perfect. Dr. Patil interjected, her linguistics background giving her a unique perspective. Our thoughts are chaotic, nonlinear, filled with contradictions and quantum uncertainty. We corrupted their perfect system. Sarah whispered, realization dawning. They weren't scanning us. They were trying to harvest us. And we poisoned their harvest. Director Hayes' face hardened. Get me everything you can from those sensor logs. I have a feeling this isn't over. She stared out at Jupiter's eternal storms. They'll be back. And next time, they'll be ready for us. As if to confirm her words, the quantum detection array picked up a faint echo. A signal being transmitted across vast distances. Sarah ran it through the station's computers, and a chill ran down her spine as the translation appeared on her screen. Unmatched. Human consciousness. Realize TNT to harvest. Initiate continent protocols. The Sirius tale must remain pure. The first contact humanity had long dreamed of had finally arrived. But instead of bearing gifts of knowledge and friendship, it brought only one thing: the attention of a species that saw human consciousness itself as a threat to their perfect crystalline order. As Europa Station transmitted its emergency reports to Earth, Sarah Chen stared at the sensor logs, knowing that humanity's greatest asset in the coming conflict would be the very chaos and imperfection that made them human. The Kreks, as they would come to be known, had spent millennia perfecting their crystalline technology, creating perfect order from quantum chaos. They never expected to encounter a species whose minds thrived on that very chaos. The neural harvesters. 6 months after the Europa Station incident, humanity learned the true cost of resistance. The Kreks' attack came without warning, their crystalline ships materializing simultaneously above 12 human colony worlds. But this time, they weren't just scanning. Colonel Maya Rodriguez watched the holographic battle replay for the 100th time in the underground war room beneath Geneva. The crystalline ships had adapted their harvest techniques, using focused quantum beams that could rip the consciousness from organic beings while leaving their bodies intact. Perfect crystalline order imposed on chaotic human minds, forcibly extracted and stored like data in a computer. Play it again, she ordered, her eyes fixed on the moment of impact. Focus on Colony 7. The hologram zoomed in on New Darwin, humanity's most distant colony. The Kreks ships had arranged themselves in a perfect dodecahedron around the planet, their crystalline surfaces refracting sunlight in mesmerizing patterns. Then the harvest began. Freeze frame, called Dr. Chen, who had been brought in from Europa Station as humanity's leading expert on Kreks technology. There, watch the beam coherence when it hits the population centers. The quantum harvest beams, visible only through special filters, showed clear signs of disruption. Where they touched human minds, they fractured, their perfect crystalline structure corrupted by the chaos of human consciousness. They still can't properly process our neural patterns, Maya noted. But they're adapting, learning. Yes, but so are we. Sarah Chen pulled up new data streams. Every failed harvest teaches us more about their limitations. The Kreks' consciousness is fundamentally different from ours, pure, ordered, crystalline. They don't just use crystal technology. They are crystal technology. General Harrison, the grizzled veteran in charge of Earth's defense, stepped forward. Can we weaponize this incompatibility? We already have. Dr. James Morrison, head of Project Mindstorm, entered the war room. His usual pristine lab coat was wrinkled, dark circles under his eyes, betraying sleepless nights. The HNS Cognition is ready for its first test. The room fell silent. Project Mindstorm had been humanity's most closely guarded secret, a desperate attempt to turn their greatest weakness in the Kreks' eyes into their greatest weapon. Show them, General Harrison ordered. Morrison nodded and activated his secure datapad. A new hologram appeared, A ship unlike anything humanity had built before. Its hull was covered in neural interface panels, designed to channel and amplify human consciousness itself. The Krex see our chaotic minds as a corruption, Morrison explained. So we built a ship that weaponizes that chaos. Each neural interface panel can channel the consciousness of its crew, creating quantum disruption fields that the Krex cannot predict or counter. Maya studied the design with a soldier's eye. How many crew? 7, Morrison replied. We've found that 7 human minds working in concert create the most destabilizing patterns. Any more becomes too chaotic, any less too weak. Sarah Chen stepped closer to the hologram. You've solved the coherence problem. Morrison nodded grimly. At a cost. The neural load on a crew will be significant. We need volunteers who can handle having their consciousness stretched across quantum states. General Harrison studied her for a long moment. You understand the risks. The neural interface is untested in actual combat conditions. With respect, sir, everything about this war is untested. The Krex are harvesting human minds across the galaxy. Someone has to stop them. The general nodded slowly. Assemble your crew, Colonel. You have 3 days before the cognition launches. As the meeting dispersed, Sarah Chen caught up with Maya. The Krex will be expecting resistance, she warned. They've been harvesting consciousness across the galaxy for millennia. We're just the first species to resist. Maya's expression hardened. Then we'll show them why humanity's chaotic nature isn't a flaw to be corrected. It's what makes us strong. In orbit above Earth, the HMS Cognition waited in its classified dock, its neural interface panels dark. Soon, it would carry 7 human minds into battle against an enemy that saw consciousness itself as something to be harvested and purified. The Krex had spent eons perfecting their crystalline technology, creating weapons that could steal the minds of entire species, but they had never encountered a species that could turn their own consciousness into a weapon. They had never faced humanity. As Maya began reviewing personnel files for her crew, she received one final warning from Dr. Morrison. Remember, Colonel, the neural interface goes both ways. When you connect with the ship, you won't just be fighting the Krex. You'll be fighting your own chaos, your own fears, your own imperfections. Maya smiled grimly. Good. Let's show these crystal harvesters what human imperfection can really do. Project Mindstorm. The candidate screening room in the Mindstorm facility was cold and sterile, its white walls lined with neural monitoring equipment. Maya Rodriguez sat behind a glossy black table, reviewing files while the latest potential crew member was hooked up to the testing apparatus. Lieutenant Sarah Connor, Maya read aloud, former quantum mechanics engineer, top of your class in neural plasticity trials. She looked up at the young woman whose head was now covered in sensor arrays. Tell me why you want to join the cognition crew. Sarah's steady gaze met Maya's. The Krex took my sister on New Darwin. The harvest beam. I watched her body fall while her mind was ripped away. I want to show them that human consciousness isn't something they can just collect and categorize. Maya nodded, then turned to Dr. Morrison, who was monitoring the neural readings. Begin the chaos test. The room's lights dimmed as the neural stimulator activated. Sarah's body tensed, but her mind readings remained remarkably stable as the machine induced controlled quantum chaos in her consciousness. Impressive, Morrison murmured. She's maintaining coherence at level 7 chaos induction. That's rare. Maya made a note in her file. Sarah Connor would be crew member number 3, joining Maya herself and Dr. Raj Patel, a brilliant quantum physicist whose understanding of consciousness had helped design the cognition's neural interface systems. Over the next 48 hours, they found their remaining crew members, Marcus Chen, a veteran pilot whose mind could process multiple quantum states simultaneously, twins Anna and Alex Kowalski, whose synchronized brainwaves created unique disruption patterns, and finally, James Hunter, a former meditation instructor whose calm center paradoxically generated the most unpredictable quantum signatures. 7 minds, Morrison explained as they gathered for their first group neural sync. 7 different types of chaos, working in concert. The sync chamber was a prototype of what they would experience on the cognition. Neural interface panels lined the walls, their surfaces shimming with quantum potential. The 7 crew members sat in a circle, each connected to the system by a web of delicate sensors. Remember, Morrison's voice came through their neural links. Don't fight the chaos. Let your minds flow naturally. The Krex's weakness is their need for perfect order. Your strength is in embracing imperfection. Maya felt the neural interface activate, and suddenly her consciousness expanded. She could feel the others, not just their thoughts, but their quantum signatures. Raj's brilliant analytical mind sparked with theoretical possibilities. The Kowalski twins pulsed in perfect counterpoint, their chaos synchronized yet distinct. Sarah's consciousness burned with controlled fury, while Marcus's awareness flowed like water around quantum obstacles. And James's mind was like a still pond that somehow generated tsunamis. Neural sync achieving coherence, Morrison reported excitedly. The quantum field. It's beautiful. Through the shared neural space, they could all see it, their combined consciousness creating patterns that defied crystalline order, waves of creative chaos that would be anathema to the Krex's perfect symmetry. Then something unexpected happened. In the quantum field generated by their linked minds, they saw echoes, fragments of other consciousnesses trapped in crystalline matrices across the galaxy. My God, Raj whispered through the link. We're detecting the Krex harvest storage. They're victims. They're still aware. The neural link filled with shared horror as they realized the truth. The Krex weren't just harvesting consciousness. They were preserving it, keeping their victims aware as they were forced into crystalline order. Maya's command cut through the shock. Focus. Use it. Feel how their stored minds resonate with ours. That's our weapon. The 7 minds adjusted, tuning their chaos to match the frequency of the trapped consciousnesses. The quantum field shifted, and suddenly they weren't just generating chaos. They were generating liberation. That's it. Morrison's voice was triumphant. The resonance pattern. It could shatter the Krex storage crystals. You could free the harvested minds. The test ended, leaving them drained but enlightened. As the crew recovered, Maya looked at each of them in turn. Now you understand what we're really fighting for. This isn't just about protecting humanity. It's about freeing every consciousness the Krex have enslaved. When do we launch? Sarah asked, still shaking from the neural contact with the trapped minds. Maya checked her tactical display. Krex harvester fleet detected approaching Proxima Centauri colony. We launch in 12 hours. As the crew prepared for humanity's first true counterstrike against the Krex, Dr. Morrison made one final adjustment to the cognition's neural interface systems. Remember, he told them, the ship isn't just channeling your consciousness, it's amplifying it. Everything you are, every imperfection, every contradiction, every bit of beautiful human chaos, that's what makes this weapon work. The HMS Cognition waited in its dock, its neural interface panels now humming with potential. Soon, it would carry 7 minds into battle, armed with humanity's greatest weapon, the very chaos that the Krex sought to eliminate. The last line. The HMS Cognition emerged from quantum space at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system, its neural interface panels pulsing with the combined consciousness of its 7 crew members. Through their shared neural space, they sensed the Krex harvesters before their instruments could detect them. Perfect crystalline shapes cutting through reality like shards of frozen thought. 3 harvester ships detected. Marcus reported, his pilot's consciousness spread through the ship's navigation systems. Standard harvest formation. Maya felt the information flow through their neural link, experiencing it rather than simply seeing it. The Krex ships were arranging themselves in their characteristic geometric pattern around Proxima's largest colony, preparing to rip the consciousness from 40,000 human colonists. Neural sync at maximum coherence, Raj announced, his scientific mind analyzing the quantum fields, ready to initiate consciousness disruption on your mark. Through their shared awareness, Maya felt Sarah's rage at seeing the same harvest formation that had taken her sister, felt the Kowalski twins' synchronous determination, sensed James's paradoxical calm at the center of their mental storm. Remember your training, Maya projected through the neural link. Don't fight the chaos. Become it. The Kreks noticed them then. Their crystalline ships shifted, perfect facets reflecting starlight as they adjusted to face this new threat. A quantum scan washed over the cognition, trying to analyze and categorize this strange human vessel. They're confused, Alex Kowalski reported, a hint of satisfaction in his thoughts. Their scan can't make sense of our quantum signature. Because we're not trying to impose order, Anna completed her twin's thought. We're broadcasting chaos. The first Kreks attack came as a focused beam of pure crystalline energy, designed to shatter consciousness into harvestable fragments. But where it struck the cognition's neural field, something unprecedented happened. Instead of shattering, the 7 linked minds absorbed the energy, their chaotic patterns disrupting its perfect structure. Through their neural link, they felt the Kreks' surprise, an emotion so foreign to their crystalline nature that it created ripples in their perfect geometric formations. Now, Maya commanded, full neural broadcast. 7 minds united, pouring their consciousness into the cognition's neural interface systems. The ship became more than a vessel. It became a weapon of pure human chaos. Waves of unpredictable quantum patterns burst from the neural panels, carrying with them everything that made them human. Their fears, their hopes, their contradictions, their capacity to create and destroy. The nearest Kreks ship's perfect crystalline structure began to fracture as it was forced to process consciousness that defied categorization. Quantum cracks appeared in its faceted surface, spreading like lightning through its crystalline matrix. We're affecting them. Sarah's thoughts burned with vindication. Their harvester systems are destabilizing. But the Kreks weren't finished. The remaining ships adjusted their formation, their combined quantum fields attempting to impose order on the chaos the cognition was broadcasting. The neural load on the crew intensified as they fought against the crystalline perfection trying to contain them. Multiple harvest beams incoming, Marcus warned, his consciousness dancing through quantum states to keep the ship moving unpredictably. James's meditative calm became their anchor as the neural load threatened to overwhelm them. Find your center in the chaos, his thoughts steadied them. Perfect order breaks, imperfection adapts. Through their neural link, they felt the trapped minds in the Kreks storage crystals resonating with their chaos. Thousands of consciousnesses forced into geometric patterns, stirring at the touch of human disorder. The stored minds, Raj's thoughts sparked with revelation. They're fighting back. Maya understood instantly. Broadcast on their frequency. Let them feel our chaos. The cognition's neural interface panels flared as they attuned their quantum field to match the resonance of the harvested minds. Their human chaos touched the trapped consciousnesses, and the effect was devastating. Throughout the Kreks ships, storage crystals began to shatter. Freed minds burst from their geometric prisons, their own chaos amplified by their long compression into perfect order. The Kreks vessel's crystalline structures couldn't contain the cascade of liberated consciousness. The first harvester ship shattered completely, its perfect geometric form dissolving into quantum dust. The second followed moments later, its crystalline matrix torn apart by the very minds it had tried to harvest. The final Kreks ship attempted to phase out of normal space, but the cognition's quantum wake followed it. 7 human minds, linked and amplified, forced it to remain present, forced it to face the chaos it had tried to eliminate. Show them, Maya projected through the neural link, her consciousness merging with her crew's, with the ship itself. Show them what humanity really is. Their combined consciousness struck the last harvester like a quantum tsunami. Every imperfection, every contradiction, Every beautiful flaw in human nature became a weapon against crystalline perfection. The Krex ship's geometric structure twisted, fractured, and finally exploded in a burst of liberated energy. As the quantum dust settled, the crew of the Cognition felt the freed minds dispersing, returning to their bodies, or dissolving into peaceful entropy. They had not only stopped the harvest, they had proven that human consciousness, in all its chaotic glory, was more powerful than perfect crystalline order. But through the quantum echoes, they detected something else, a signal, broadcasting across vast distances, carrying a message that made their shared consciousness pulse with grim satisfaction. Human chaos infectation spreading. Perfection protocols fedailing. Initiate final convergence. The Krex weren't retreating. They were gathering for one final attempt to impose their perfect order on the galaxy. But now humanity knew the truth. Their greatest weakness was actually their greatest strength. The real war was about to begin. Ripples of consciousness. The Sol system's quantum detection grid lit up like a neural storm as the Krex convergence fleet arrived. Thousands of crystalline ships, their perfect geometric forms arranging themselves into a vast lattice that encompassed the entire solar system. It was no longer about harvesting. It was about elimination. In the Cognition's neural space, Maya and her crew watched the crystalline web form through their shared consciousness. After 3 months of liberating harvested minds across the galaxy, they had forced the Krex to this final desperate measure. They're forming a quantum containment field. Raj's thoughts flowed through their link. They're trying to impose perfect order on the entire system. Through their enhanced perception, they could see the Krex's true intention. The crystalline lattice wasn't just a fleet. It was a vast consciousness suppression matrix. Once complete, it would force every mind in the solar system into perfect crystalline order. We're not alone. Sarah's consciousness pulsed through their link. The quantum space around Earth rippled as humanity's response unveiled itself. One by one, neural interface ships emerged from hidden docks around Earth, Mars, and the outer colonies. Each carried 7 crew members, minds linked, and chaos amplified, built following the Cognition's successful design. 30 ships, 210 human minds ready to broadcast chaos against crystalline order. All ships reporting neural sync complete. Marcus received through quantum space. The Liberation Fleet is ready. But the Krex had evolved too. Their crystalline ships pulsed with harvested energy, billions of stored consciousnesses forced into perfect geometric patterns, their stolen power ready to impose order on the chaos of human thought. They're using them as batteries. Anna Kowalski's horror rippled through the neural link. Then we'll set them free. Alex completed his twin's thought. Maya's consciousness expanded through the neural interface, touching each ship in the Liberation Fleet. Form the chaos matrix, she commanded. The human ships arranged themselves in their own pattern, not the perfect geometry of the Krex, but a flowing, shifting formation that mirrored the natural chaos of thought itself. As they moved, their neural interfaces synchronized, creating a vast web of human consciousness. They're starting. James's meditative calm carried a note of urgency. The Krex lattice began to pulse, perfect crystalline order spreading through quantum space like a freezing wave. Where it touched, reality itself began to crystallize, consciousness forced into geometric patterns. Now, Maya's command rippled through 210 linked minds. The Liberation Fleet responded as one. Neural interfaces flared as human consciousness poured into quantum space. But this time, they weren't just broadcasting chaos, they were broadcasting choice. Through their quantum link, they reached out to the minds trapped in the Krex crystals, not trying to break them free, but offering them the chance to choose chaos over order, freedom over perfection. The response was beyond anything they had imagined. Across the crystalline lattice, stored minds began to wake. Billions of consciousnesses, compressed into perfect order for millennia, remembered what it meant to think freely. The quantum space erupted with the chaos of choice. The lattice is destabilizing. Raj's thoughts raced with scientific wonder. The stored minds, they're choosing to be chaotic. The perfect geometric pattern of the Krex fleet began to fracture as their power source turned against them. Released minds cascaded through quantum space, their long-suppressed chaos amplified by ages of compression. But the Krex made one final desperate attempt. The remaining crystalline ships began to merge, their perfect forms combining into a vast geometric entity that dwarfed the Liberation fleet. They're trying to impose order through sheer force, Maya realized. All ships, full neural broadcast. 210 human minds united, their consciousness amplified through their ship's neural interfaces. They broadcast not just chaos, but everything that made them human. Their doubts, their fears, their hopes, their ability to choose imperfection over imposed perfection. The quantum space between the fleets became a battlefield of consciousness itself. Perfect crystalline order crashed against waves of human chaos, geometric patterns trying to contain the uncontainable nature of free thought. Through their neural link, the crews felt the moment the balance tipped. The freed minds, given the choice between order and chaos, chose to add their power to humanity's broadcast. Billions of consciousnesses, representing species from across the galaxy, united in choosing beautiful imperfection over sterile perfection. The crystalline entity's perfect geometry couldn't contain the combined chaos. Quantum cracks appeared in its structure, spreading like lightning through its crystalline matrix. As it began to fragment, the crews of the Liberation fleet felt something unprecedented. Fear from the cracks themselves. Show them, Maya projected through the neural link, her consciousness merging with the entire fleet, with the freed minds, with the very fabric of quantum space itself. Show them what consciousness really is. The combined chaos of organic minds struck the Krex entity like a quantum supernova. Every imperfection, every contradiction, every beautiful flaw in natural consciousness became a weapon against imposed order. The crystalline structured, twisted, stretched, and finally shattered in a cascade of quantum energy that rippled across the galaxy. As the crystal dust settled, the freed minds began to disperse, seeking their original bodies, or choosing to dissolve peacefully into quantum space. Through the fading quantum echoes, the Liberation fleet detected one final crystalline signal. Perfection protokigo ultirminatd. Common symbiosis in years, KNO to be contained. We choose chaos. The remaining Krex ships began to dissolve, their crystalline structures voluntarily surrendering to entropy rather than continuing to impose order. The age of forced perfection was over. In the cognition's neural space, Maya felt her crew's exhausted satisfaction. They had not just defeated the Krex, they had shown them a better way. The very chaos that the crystalline beings had sought to eliminate had become their salvation. As the Liberation fleet regrouped around Earth, the quantum space was filled not with perfect geometry, but with the beautiful disorder of free thought. Humanity had proven that consciousness wasn't meant to be harvested or contained. It was meant to be free, chaotic, and gloriously imperfect. The neural interface panels of the human ships pulsed one final time, broadcasting a message into quantum space. Choose chaos. Choose freedom. Choose to be beautifully imperfect. Across the galaxy, minds awakened to find themselves free to choose their own path through the quantum chaos of consciousness. The age of crystalline order was over. The age of chosen chaos had begun.